Fuck.
Look at this. He beat us here.
Yeah.
Damn right. Damn right it's time. Damn right it's time, Chad. How's it going, man? How's it going? And listen, people, we are here tonight. It's Team Raw, aka the Raw guys. We're getting raw. Not in the way you're thinking,
Raw.
actually. Not in the way you're thinking. And this movie is not the kind of raw that I'm always talking about. This is a whole different meaning of raw. I'm going to start off with this. She goes from a vegetarian that works. Actually, no, she's going to at a veterinarian school.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to become a vet. In turn, it ends up being, things obviously happen, and she ends up being a cannibal. And that's what we're going to talk about. That's exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. Is this crazy friend? Yes. Hashtag raw.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He knows. This film here. What the fuck?
Now this film from this is French, right?
Yes.
Yeah, from French 2016.
Yep.
It wasn't as, yes, there was cannibalism in it, but it wasn't as like, to me at least, it wasn't. I've seen more. How do I word this? More like cannibalistic, I guess, to where it was like more of a gross or gory type of a effect.
Part of like the cannibal cycle films. Yeah.
There you go. This wasn't that.
Mm-mm.
As a matter of fact, when you're watching that first and seeing the people, you wouldn't even expect these people to be cannibals, and she is.
Mm-hmm.
And
the
way they got people sometimes was crazy with the whole car thing.
Oh, the sister? Yeah. Sister is a maniac.
Both of them are crazy.
Well, the thing is, the sister's the one who...
Well, they're cannibals.
The sister is the most violent one.
Yeah, the older sister.
She's also the one that left the house first.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. This is very much a film about finding your identity and also the importance of finding yourself outside of the home. Yeah, it's I'll just say it right out here. This film tickled me pink because I had known about it. I even had a copy at one point, and and I didn't watch it. I even sold it, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm finally going to watch this." When it came up on the wheel, and I'll say, Sturdy, this is a film that I consider a classic. And I am very excited to see how it ages. And potentially, in my opinion, might be one of the last great films of the French extremity movement.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting right there, Trevor. That's interesting.
I liked it a lot, in short.
No, that's a good movie.
I understand why, and I like how with this one, instead of, and don't get me wrong, I love the blood, guts, gore, violence, all that shit. And this did give you that, but in different ways. I like how it did it in this way, and I like how there was kind of a story with it. Like how, for example, what was her name? The younger
Justine?
sister? Justine, yeah.
Justine, yep.
When she was forced to eat the raw meat.
What was it again? Something.
It was kidney. I think it was a chicken kidney.
Chicken kidney. She was eating that raw, and this was, which I don't know why this is going on at a French veterinary school. Maybe
it's like
it's hazing.
Yeah, it's a hazing, like a cow to be into the frat house type thing.
Oh, fuck that frat! I don't want to be in that. Nah,
you're part of one of us. You got to do this. We all did it.
Listen. And that's the wrong mentality. If everybody jumps off a bridge, you know that, and all that Kool-Aid shit, and if everybody smokes crack, are you? No. So don't eat people either. Bro. Don't eat people in the way that they were eating in this one. But never mind. That's for different. You know what I'm talking about.
I like how they went through the stages of her becoming a cannibal. Yeah, like slowly getting worse and worse. I love the sexual, getting like aroused, get with it started coming into play.
But before you even get to that though, James, I like how you mentioned that because it started with the mashed potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how she asked for the mashed potatoes, and then she like makes his face and she spits it out, and she was like, "There's meat in my potatoes," and her mother's like, "I'm gonna go talk to them and get you more potatoes," and she said, "No, it's not fine," but she went over and did it anyway. And that's where you learn they're vegetarians because the mother was like, "We're vegetarians," and there was meat in her food,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of went from there. But slowly but surely, especially, well, actually, no, it was after the whole thing with her sister, the whole hazing, if that's what you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
is when you started seeing her meat cravings. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, she told her boyfriend she was going to get a bowl of cereal. Mind, she didn't do that. She cracked that. She cracked open some chicken. Didn't use seasoning, but we didn't. Did we expect her to? And she just bit it. Took a nice bite out of that raw chicken breast.
Yeah, raw meat.
And that was the first time. It wasn't okay. So it wasn't exactly the first time, but it was one of the first times that she goes into a refrigerator to find meat, that she opens up her sister's and there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that and then, oh, so yeah. But no, there is, she tries to fight it because Justine has been raised as a strict vegetarian. And her sister also was. It doesn't give you any information that would make you think anything else than, oh, maybe this person has been vegetarian long enough that if they do, like if she's from day one, if you do ingest meat, yes, you could have that kind of outbreak. So that's still in a very believable element of, and trust me, okay, the blood thing was way over the top and them having to wear the bloody things, but we've all seen worse hazing stuff in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
But
paint. Oh no, go ahead. I was just thinking the paint later on.
Yeah,
The paint later
exactly.
on, which I want to get to that. I know we're jumping around, but I want to get to that scene really quick because you have this whole thing where another hazing thing. You walk into this room, you just get paint thrown on you. Like literally, she walked into this room, got some blue paint thrown on her, and she was pushed in a room with a dude that had yellow paint. Of course, they were doing their thing or whatever. But then you fast forward not too far ahead, still like a part of the same scene, and you see her boyfriend in a room on a laptop watching people go at it that were painted. And then his girl comes back, cleaned up, showered, and all, and they're just horny as hell, and they're going at it. So I'm like, was he watching her get pounded out, and that turned him on, or was
No.
he just watching others? That's one part I was thinking. I was like,
Okay.
that's what I thought for a minute. I'm like, was he watching? And then I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, she got cleaned up, and then they just went at it.
Well, the first thing is her and Adrian are never actually a couple. Adrian has his own items that he's dealing with, his own identity that he has been trying to figure out and hide. So right there, it's really it's a strange just the whole relationship. So it is okay. So he's into most likely very rough S&M, things of that nature. What I could see on that screen looked like somebody violently being pegged by somebody in a kind of like a coat outfit, which honestly is not anything in the world to worry about. But for the film of the scene, yeah, it's supposed to be somewhat shocking because as he says later in a large group of people, hey, I'm actually gay and I've been trying to keep it hidden. And nobody's going to say that unless they mean it because it's just the way it is. Their attraction to each other is, it's very sad what happens with Adrian because it kind of starts to mirror what you eventually discover her parents' relationship is.
Yeah, yes.
And there is this like romance there, but it's almost more of a romance of two people meeting and suddenly their hidden things start clicking together. And unfortunately, jealousy, from what I could interpret, had Alexia stab him in the back, and she ate most of his leg. So Justine wakes up and she feels that everything is perfect. They were able to do what they wanted to do. We can sleep in a bed and whatever, and I'm not going to attack you.
Mm-hmm.
She discovers and thinks she's done this, and then discovers she doesn't, and Alexia's like literally they're still covered in blood in the kitchen. Yeah, it's very sad, but that is definitely a jealousy thing there. Yeah, so there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in this movie.
There is, there really is, and I'm just like, wow, like it again. It don't get me wrong, it is violent. It is violent, but it's in such a strange way. Like with shit, when the two sisters fought.
Yeah,
that's why I said hashtag bite in the group chat, because they were literally biting. You know, some people are like choking each other. They're just biting each other at one part. I'm just like, holy shit!
Hungry hippos.
Before I forget, so this movie also delivered a scene that generally grossed me out, and that's pretty damn hard. So the scene in which she pulls out of her throat what looks like months of hair.
Yeah.
Ugh. And very few things gross me out, but that was so visceral.
I was like, Jesus Christ, where'd that come from? I was like, damn, she's chewing on her hair that much.
Well,
she shouldn't have hair left on her head.
Point, she basically has pica because she's trying to figure out what in God's earth is going to, take away this craving that makes no sense. But oh man, that was gross. That was one where I was actually like, ugh, and it takes a lot for that.
How would you like the scene where she was eating her sister's finger?
I thought that was actually awesome. I thought it was
portrayed. It was awesome.
It was because it was, this movie also does a very, very good job of not just delivering what you want, but taking it a little further.
Definitely.
And it's amazingly satisfying, tragic. I mean, it touches upon so many elements of the concept of cannibalism. And that is part of the reason why this film is so exciting for me, because I do love the cannibal cycle, no matter how horrible it is. And I've always been attracted to cannibal films. It's the last taboo, and or the most taboo to this day. And it's also probably especially in a film or a book, cannibalism is the meanings are just, I mean, it in the same light that it is truly horrible and disgusting and vile and immoral, metaphorically, if you told somebody you were going to cannibalize them, that's not metaphorically a bad thing, but in language, we don't even look at the concept of what cannibalism is still a very negative thing while we talk. So it's interesting to see it in a movie where it's actually approached as delicately you possibly could. You feel sympathy for everybody involved.
I don't feel. See, I only feel bad for the as far as the cannibals. I only feel bad for the younger sister, and that's because it was forced upon her, and we seen it forced upon her. Versus her older sister, we don't know if it was or not, or if that was something that was always in her. We don't know if we don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is.
It was passed on by the mother.
Yeah, the mother is like that. That's why the father had all the scars and everything. It's genetic. It was passed on.
Is it genetic or
not genetic? I don't know if it's
genetic. It came from the mother.
No,
the mother, but
I know she's mother.
Cannibalism in itself is not genetic.
Okay,
but
that's what I
in
meant.
this film, and that's why they raise them as strict vegetarians.
Yeah,
with
so don't
the
get the
hope
taste.
that they could put enough of an ethical morale in them.
Okay.
That it would counterbalance. And as she discovers with her sister and it is a hunger you metaphorically in itself. This is a film about identity. It's about growth. It's about discovering elements of, your own feminism. If you look at it from a feministic critic aspect, it uses cannibalism as this amazing metaphor and still delivers a mildly shocking and it at the end. Okay, so we mentioned the mother, and the mother genetically passed this on. What made me actually tear up at the end was, number one, the father never ever says anything negative pertaining to things in the film that you're like, wow, this guy is really stoic. And then when he confronts his daughter about what is going on, and he talks he really, basically says, this is thing that you need to know, and it's going to affect you, and I'm going to tell you in the highest respect possible, but you better be ready. And he basically, he lifts his shirt up, he is scarred all over and bite marks, and says something to the equivalent of choose well. And that was, if you're going to live, you need to find a partner. And imagine how, tight the dating, scene for that is. I mean, not to say it is not,
but just let's jump into this really quick though before we even go further from this. Just imagine like hearing that, or like say just like say you have one of your single friends and they're on one of those dating apps or whatever the case may be, and they're going through scrolling through, like, yo, come and read this, and this chick is just like, I bite. Well, it's a little bit more than biting. I kind of like the taste of human flesh. And then just like, are you supposed to like? I couldn't say yes to that. I'm gonna be honest. For me,
there was a guy in Germany who did say yes on Craigslist.
Yeah.
They made a movie about him too.
And that's just some crazy.
So, there's
people take that chance, I guess.
But it's so cannibalism in itself. When I say about the romance of it, if you look at a vampire, now the vampire is supposedly undead, but it technically is the same concept, and it's the concept wrapped in romanticism, where cannibalism from day one has been wrapped in fear. So, okay. And I did not know this until I started deep diving. So cannibalism is solely a concept based on colonialism. In fact, it was actually coined by one of our favorite assholes, Christopher Columbus, after he made a stop on one of his voyages and came upon the Cannibali people. And, well, he painted them out as savages, flesh eaters, and things of that nature to then wipe them off the map. And then that's when the whole narrative of the xenophobic look at the exotic people and the, that's where that all falls in. So cannibalism in itself, so colonialism in itself, politically, it also represents, a lot of things as far as oppression and things of that nature. But capitalism is a humongous trope in these movies. So this movie doesn't do much with that, but cannibalism is it has so many meanings because the history of it is so vile. It's literally a concept created to promote fear and get land. So,
Yeah. I gotta say this though, Trevor. You don't have to apologize for calling Christopher Columbus an asshole, because I'm gonna say to Christopher Columbus, listen. Anytime I gotta say
I'm
fuck
not
you,
talking about the director.
I'm talking about the asshole, the other Christopher Columbus.
Oh yeah,
him. But anytime, I think what I'm gonna try to do, guys. Anytime I gotta say fuck you, I'm just gonna pull this movie up right here. Just pull that right up. You know exactly what that means when I pull this up. If you don't know what that means, go back to Tuesday's episode and you will know. You guys will think I was saying fuck you to Trevor, but I was not saying fuck you to Trevor. I would never. It was but I gotta say this, the timing was perfect. I'm glad I didn't warn anybody about it. I didn't even know I was gonna say it. So let me tell you what triggered it.
Okay.
It was not triggered like that, but because James mentioned the series of Carrie, then right after Trevor was like, let's make it a miniseries, and he was done. And then I was like, click, miniseries. That movie was supposed to be a miniseries. So I was just like, miniseries, this movie, fuck you. And it was the funny thing, because I looked back at it a few times. I looked back at it again today with my wife, and even she paused. All you guys paused for a second, and I started talking about the movie, and everybody like kind of calmed down, and the video store clerks were fucking dying the whole time. But go back and watch. You guys should go back and watch it. Be it like Trevor and James, go back and watch the beginning of that just to watch everybody's reaction. I'm gonna make a clip of that, but just to watch everybody's reaction as I'm still going, and it's just fucking fun. Like, yeah, fuck that movie still. Fuck you, Firestarter, and fuck you, Christopher Columbus. But yeah, I just had to get that out just to let you guys know. So that's the fuck you button on here. Firestarter 2. A literal fuck you button on here. I should put it on my OBS. Yeah, I'll do that. Anyway, back to
so if you eat human flesh for a long period of time, is that a thing true that it can make you go crazy?
There's something involving bacteria or something.
Okay.
From what I understand, I've heard of it. I don't,
because I see that in many movies. I never really looked it up to see if it's a real thing. Like, I was like, damn. I was like,
well, yeah, it is.
It could be just a raw meat.
It's not. It is potentially something you can get over time consuming human flesh, but there are not a lot of people out there that are a good focus group for it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Taking that out in the Village Voice, looking for 250 cannibals to take part in a psychology test for whatever.
Yeah, the reason I brought it up because I thought that's what happened to the sister at the end. I thought she was just starting to become mad because she was like, when she was like just sitting there playing the game, she looked like she was zoned out, like she was like high as hell. And I was like, oh, she snapped. I was like, she got that shit. She got that cannibal fucking madness. So I don't know what happened to her. It's kind of weird that she's the only one who got arrested, though.
Well, but because she killed the one dude.
Yeah, I know, but like,
so
you don't think she would have said they both did it because the other one had his blood on her too because she bites him and shit.
But the older sister did it. The younger sister, or the older sister, probably admitted she did it too. And I mean,
probably,
she has
maybe.
Why wouldn't she? She tried. What's the point of
It's kind of funny too. She didn't get kicked out of school for biting that dude's lip off.
Listen.
Yeah, what they were doing, they didn't want that to get back to the school.
Listen, his lip should not have been in her mouth. She was defending herself.
Although you have to admit, at the end of the film, and as the father is talking, you start looking at him and you start piecing it together, like, and he says about his lip, it brings back, all these things that are happening in the film, and it's bizarrely touching. It's like, after the first kiss, I knew this was it. After she ate part of your face, I mean, wow, dude, that's big time love. I mean,
I guess. I guess that's what they call love. That's
You go to sleep at night and you can wake up with your fucking missing chunk of your leg.
You know what though, guys? I love, but I don't think I need it that much. Like that. There's levels. There's levels, and that's just.
I don't even like that scratching shit. Don't scratch me. My back is sensitive. That shit will fucking hurt.
I'm not gonna even say anything because I don't want to get myself in trouble. So pass. But anyway, people, what I will say is this. So I did some research too. By research, I mean I watched this movie, and what I've learned is just because you're a vegetarian does not mean you can't become a cannibal. Think about that. Put that in your pocket and think about that. What does that mean? It means this, people. It means I'm not spinning the wheel tonight, and I'm also not having a show Tuesday because we're going to be over on the Scene Snobs, 80s wrestler stuff. You guys should check
Halloween
it out.
party.
Halloween party. But next Thursday, we already got the movie picked out. And we're going to be hopping around in some pouches.
We're going down under.
Hopefully, we get to see a killer kangaroo. Rippy. I'm excited for this. The cover looks cool as shit.
There's an outbreak in the outback.
There's an outbreak in the outback.
This tickles the same was actually a thing. Yes, Pet NATO's a movie. This looks pretty.
It is,
awesome.
I know.
Yes, and it's funny. So James found it, and he was gonna watch it. But he was like, you know what? Sturdy may want to review this, and he was right. And it's
because
foreign,
it was Australian. It's a foreign movie. That's why I stopped. I was like,
yeah, we haven't done Australia yet, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's very true. It fits with the theme, and I'm like, you know what? It's Halloween. I kind of want something fun where either way, we know the conversation's going to go crazy and steer this, that, and third. But it's like with a movie like this, it's going to happen.
Possibility it could be trash. We don't know.
We could trash it or we could enjoy it. I just hope at the very least, I'm hoping for some cool kangaroo kills.
Yeah, I'm looking for fun, entertaining, just nonsense.
Cool kangaroo kills. That's not KKK though, people.
Listen, I love Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear was awesome.
Yeah, but you know what wasn't awesome? Crackoon. That was fucking terrible.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
That movie sucked. I watched it. I did a TikTok for it. That shit was bad.
Crackoon.
The Crackoon didn't look.
I've got to watch Meth Gator too.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I gotta watch that.
That film should not exist.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I'll say. You know what? They tried. You did it. Crackoon.
That's funny though.
But
so it was Cocaine Bear. They were like, we could do fucking druggy animals too.
Now, one thing I will say about raccoons is, okay, so my mother's best friends was twice, not once, twice attacked while trying to get into her car by rabid raccoons to the point they threw her down, harmed her legs, and her husband had to shoot them off or something of that nature.
Jesus.
Now, this is bad that it happened once, but this happened twice to her.
Damn.
So raccoons can be generally frightening. So
raccoons got her on their hit list. They're in a fucking garbage can with a piece of paper. Her name's on top of the list. Like we're kicking her out tonight.
She must have been talking shit.
So,
she did something.
Did something to him.
Unless those are really crackoons. They're just trying to steal her money.
That is why you don't, unless you are really prepared for it, live in the middle of the forest because you think it's cool.
Yeah, you shouldn't give raccoons crack, and you shouldn't smoke crack either, people. That's another
I want to own a raccoon.
Or
I will back them both. Yeah.
Thank you.
You have my vote.
I appreciate that. You hear that, Trump?
Yeah. Sturdy, the issues that matter.
Yep. Yeah. Don't smoke crack. Be nice to each other. Watch more horror movies. Put that in the law. You got to watch movies. Doesn't have to be horror because it's not for everybody. You got to watch movies. You got to be nice to each other. Everything else will figure out. And no crack after midnight if you do smoke crack because it's like the Gremlins but worse. Imagine the Gremlins on crack. Wow. They'd be doing that. You think they did it long in the movie? They wouldn't stop. Holy shit, raccoon.
No mattress would be safe. They'd just be all over the place looking under people's mattresses.
Oh my gosh. Got crack? No, man.
No. Where's my pipe? Where's my pipe? Where's my pipe?
Oh man, somebody's gotta stop spilling all this fucking water on these damn mogwais. And feed them after midnight. See, I'm just saying, after midnight, it's not good. It's just like when you go out super late, usually the bad stuff happens after midnight. Or the good stuff, depends on where you're going. But let's go back to France, guys. Let's go back to Raw.
Yes.
Oh, another scene
and
that
France has quite a history of cannibalism.
Another scene in this,
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Another scene in this movie that the older sisters fucked up. They had her younger sister like a dog.
Oh yeah, video
for meat from the fucking animal. Yeah,
no, that was from the dude's hand.
Oh yeah, the dude's hand. That's right. The guy
because they kept moving because her sister's the one who kept moving his arm up and down.
That's right.
And her friend is the one that showed her the video. Her guy friend is the one that showed her the video.
Yeah.
And she went out there, and
that's when the fight started.
Yeah. She went out there and fought her sister. She went out there and attacked her sister just right away. That was just it. That was the bite. That's when the bite fight started. And what I forgot to mention earlier in the bite fight is her sister bit a chunk of her cheek off.
Yeah, Jesus, I know. Damn.
And here's something I forgot to mention earlier. When you guys were talking about how the one sister ate her other sister's finger, not in a sexual way, people.
No.
She told her sister, this is why I'm saying this, because she told her sister she tastes like curry. I started laughing. I was like, that's some crazy shit to say to your sibling. Bite fight. After she bit her sister's cheek and spit it out, she said, you taste like shit. I was like, oh, they went back to it. I love when movies do that. Even if it's like this, it still works. So that was...
For one, where was that finger where it tastes like curry?
Well, okay. So one of the things I really, really liked about Justine and Alexa is their relationship, and it's not necessarily a good one. So Julia Ducournau was the writer and director on this. She went on to do a movie called La Tintaine, which is supposed to be extraordinarily good, but she does have a little bit of a background in horror. So you know from the beginning that there is tension between Justine and Alexa. Alexa is the wild one. She's not the favorite in her eyes, etc., etc., etc. And when she comes to school, Justine discovers that Alexa has, changed a great deal, come into her own. Between the video in which Adrian shows Justine, which shows that she's totally off hinge. I mean, she's out of it. And then at the end, when she kills Adrian basically out of jealousy, and there is a scene in which she cleans her off in the bathtub and everything, and next thing we see that she's in jail. And even that interaction is so, you can tell there's feeling, because as they leave, she puts her prosthetic finger, which happens to be a middle finger, up to the window, and then Justine goes right up to the window with the bite. It is almost like the younger sister in this situation had to make a decision that usually would not be hers, and that is, her sister is so out of control, she needs to be helped.
Yeah.
And so it makes the ending very cloudy, because she finds potentially that person, which would be her father, such a rare person to find, and they're killed by her sister. It shows how much of a family bond there is, that it's over, you're going away, but I'll take care of you. So, another thing that was really cool about this movie is there was a lot of significant emotion, and you don't necessarily have that in horror films.
especially cannibal ones. You
Oh
really
yeah,
don't.
I mean, you don't, think that's going to be the
But
case, and
yeah,
that when he lifts up his shirt and you just go, it's, and then you go, oh, dude,
Yeah, I know.
you
It's
love
crazy.
her. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I'm gonna say this: either he loved her, or that thing was just beyond phenomenal. Like you just put your pinky in, it and your whole body comes. Like, okay, go ahead, take another bite. Go ahead.
Do you ever want to make a cannibal that you live with unhappy?
What's he gonna say? Where's this going?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, shit! No, you don't. Fuck. Wow. Over my.
It's a major
Yeah.
commitment.
Keeping them happy. They got to keep you happy.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
Like, just go get a burger. Damn.
Which is connected to the movie, which is this really weird scene in which her and Adrian are going through what looks to be a lunch line, but they have to pay. And at this point, she just has this weird fascination with meat. And she actually steals a burger, like a Salisbury steak burger, and puts it in her pocket. And the attendant actually catches her. And the hilarious thing to me was how Adrian was like, oh, fuck it. You're just fucking weird.
Yep.
And that is kind of, I think, part of this weird attraction between those two.
Yeah. I can see that. I could see that with those two, with just this.
What was the weird scene when they walk to the fucking convenience store and that trucker guy comes up and just rubbing Adrian's fucking ear and shit? I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
I got a human trafficking vibe.
Yeah, me too, but I didn't know how far it was gonna go. I was like, is this dude gonna try like do something? But nothing happened. So I was like, okay, that was kind of
also it was significant in the fact that he went after Adrian. And as you learn, which he forcibly has to come out, that he is gay. And that yet again reinforces, without you knowing, that you have this guy who's a really disgusting example of machismo, masculinity, pussy testosterone doing that. And that yet again gives you even more sympathy for these people, and the idea of finding that kind of love with a situation like that.
That's what that's
Yeah, it's like the father said, you got.
I guess it
So
almost
this is
seems
in
like
its own way, it's a romance.
In a funny way too. You could throw it in with the whole like toxic relationship. Like that's just on another damn level.
Also, technically body horror, if you really want to think about it.
Definitely body horror, psychological horror.
Oh, and also I think it's the first movie I've seen that does the shower everybody with blood. That the first thing I didn't think was Carrie. And that's pretty awesome. Because you see it in anything and you go, oh, Carrie. But this one was like, whoa. That was cool.
I think it's because the way it was done, and it was more like praised. Like they were praised after it was with the group of them. They were all like happy.
Like, they even they foreshadow it even when Alexa takes her through the downstairs of what is a morgue kind of place. So it really isn't a big surprise, but it's also really a surprise that it's done. And that also has that punch of like, this is going to be a really hard year for them.
Hard year is an understatement, but you're right.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right with that.
It's hazing that also veers on a significant amount of sadism. And that also ties in just take it back to Adrian watching what he did on his computer. So there's that going on there too. I'm excited to see, Well, I need to see T-Tane, so I've been waiting on it, and I'm mega excited now. That's the director. His
I
latest film.
saw that. I saw that a couple. Actually, oh my goodness! I wish he was still around podding with us, because you two, I would love to hear you guys have a conversation about some movies.
That'd be
But
awesome.
that movie you just mentioned, Titan, I saw that movie a couple of years ago. I believe me and him reviewed it on here. His name is Ibrahim.
Yeah, we reviewed it. Yeah.
We did. Yeah, okay. You were on that episode too with us, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Me, you, and Ibrahim. And
fetish with the car. With the
Yep.
I can't wait for you to. I want to hear your insight on that.
I've been putting it off, and after learning that it was written and directed by Julia Ducournau, I'm really excited. I really, there's just so much in this film, and it really, it also really pays a lot of debt to the French extreme movement, which I know we've talked about it, but just quick recap: in the mid 90s to about 2010, you had a really hard edge kind of cinema start coming out of France. One of the first was a film called Man Bites Dog, which is a mockumentary about a serial killer who becomes buddies with the camera crew that's following him around. And that, just kept going. And then you had Frontiers, Martyrs, Inside, just Hot Tension, all these intense films. One that this film kind of reminds me of is a Claire Denis film that was about 6 years before, called Trouble Every Day. And that also veers more into a lot of sexuality and things of that nature. And it is a cannibal film. Sometimes people want to say it's a vampire film, but no, it's a cannibal film. It's a cannibal film that looks at cannibalism as something that could be passed on by somebody, and somebody is trying to work on an antidote.
Oh wow!
And it's really, really awesome and beautiful. So that's one I would recommend. But if you take it back as far as 1967, Jean-Luc Godard made a film that you have to look at for Marxist criticism, called Weekend. And a majority of the hour 40 minutes of this film is a lot of people just driving, and random crashes, and random images of people along this road that don't necessarily fit, and kind of come in and out of time periods. But it follows these two people as they're trying to get to their destination, and it eventually leads with them becoming cannibals. And that is the film. If you want to see a film that uses cannibalism as anti-capitalist, that is the film. Other great films: Delicatessen, which is about a family that when they run an apartment, and when times get bad, they start knocking off tenants randomly and making butchered items from them. Great film.
What was that movie called again?
Delicatessen.
Actually, when you get it after the show, can you just send them in the group chat? The ones you're, because these sound interesting.
Yeah.
These sound interesting.
And we mentioned Inside. That's another movie that this reminds me a great deal of. And that is, it's just, you had just film after film after film that weren't just pushing the line of sadism and extreme gore. There were a lot of good films in that movement, a lot of just really solid, wonderful films. But, France also has a history of, cannibalism in films. When you look at like the stuff Jess Franco did when he was kicked out of Spain, that are, there are a couple that are in French originally, shot in France, and they're cannibal movies. But the great Jean Rollin, in his films, which predominantly were vampire films, some of them really rode that line between, are you a vampire or are you not? So this kind of horror it's we aren't even talking about the French literary aspect of this. This kind of visceral, taboo pushing horror is very much part of French cinema and literature.
I was gonna ask, going back to where the sister's forced to eat the chicken liver or the chicken
Mm-hmm.
kidney. Do you think now, because we're saying how it's for this movie how the cannibalism is genetic?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that brought it on sooner and more aggressive with her being forced to eat the flesh versus like, if she just naturally did something later on, or you know what I mean? Like, do you think it
You
brought it out?
know, it's if her sister was responsible,
Hmm.
her sister should have told her no and should have
Mm-hmm.
actually listened to her and backed her up
Yes.
by basically saying, "Oh, you don't want to be that one who doesn't do this."
Mm-hmm.
They had been raised minus meat.
Hmm.
It's pretty safe to say. So that liver, yeah, I mean, it caused her body to go into full shock.
Hmm.
Um, that was the push of the dominoes. Her body processed meat for the first time. It made her horribly ill, but it made her body start craving it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, glad you mentioned that, because another thing that this movie did where it goes back to, well, not goes back, but kind of brings you back,
Mm-hmm.
is the after she has the meat for the first time. I remember she's like, at first you see her just tossing and turning. You just see the blanket moving, just like moving,
Mm-hmm.
moving, 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 moving. And then the blanket comes off. She lifts her shirt and she sees she's all broken out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What was cool about that later in the movie is when basically the same thing where she's tossing and turning, but you get the camera shot, and not being pervy, people, but you get the
Mm-hmm.
camera shot under the blanket, so you're just seeing her pretty much moving in the same motions, just kind of jumping and twisting and turning, but it's all under the blanket with the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember ever seeing a movie doing it like that. Like, usually when you see under the blanket stuff with people moving and stuff, it's usually like somebody's scared and they're hiding under the covers, or they're reading something under the or something. You know what I mean? It's something like
Mm-hmm.
that versus like this of just literally tossing and turning, and just it was very interesting. And for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, it just fucking worked with this movie for
They
everything you're
use it a
seeing.
couple times in the film.
Yeah.
And after watching this movie and picking up on so much the director and writer wanted to do with this film, um, the way I read it was it was visually almost supposed to be like her coming out of the sack, the
Mm,
womb, as her body is now waking up.
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
Her body is now going to at a rapid pace go through a form of puberty.
mm.
And that's how and that's why I like that they used it multiple times. Because it just gave that that was the idea that I took from it. So
Nice, nice, nice. I I don't know if I'd go back to this movie though. It wasn't bad. One, because I'm just trying to watch a hell of a lot more movies in general. So of course, if I keep watching the same stuff, not gonna be able to watch anything new to me. Is what I'm getting
mhm.
at. But I do recommend it if you're into that. Not into cannibalism, like you're doing that shit. That's not what I mean, people. If you're into that type of film, trigger warning. I would say check this movie out. I will never tell you
Mhm.
not to watch a movie, but again, this is one of those trigger warning type of movies just because of what goes on in it. But I enjoyed it. And with that said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5. Yeah, seven and a
All right.
half. What about you, James?
I really enjoyed it too. I like the pace. I liked the character development. I liked how seeing how she was. They didn't just rush it. She's like, oh, she's a cannibal. I liked how it
Progressed.
seemed like she was going through the progression of it.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna give this an 8.
Ooh, 8. Trevor, how about you, my friend?
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Nice.
This was a movie that, like I had said before, every once in a while you get to see a movie and it makes you excited about cinema in a way that, only happens so often. I mean, we love movies and everything, but to see something and it not be predictable, but make sense and, convey so much meaning and literally take on what most people consider to be the worst, most damning taboo in life and make it a romance and a film about coming into oneself and battle. I mean, the film also makes some major direct connections to the Justine and Alexia, their image and the students around them, especially female students around them, who are affected by external things telling them what they should do. Such is the reason why she got is trying to get sick, and she pulls out, and the girl there doing it goes, 2 fingers, it's faster. And that's not supposed to be funny. That's I mean, and also this is a film. This is the big one. You can't. It's also a film about eating disorders, but also coming to grips with an addiction. Yeah. So yeah, 9.5 because this film to me delivered exactly what I want.
I like that. I like that. And for me, it again, like you guys are saying, it did tell a really good story. It did tell a good story and a good cannibal story, which again, you don't really think you're gonna get that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed The Hills Have Eyes. I enjoyed all those other movies that are like that. But this one really had like a story, and it kind of gives you a reason why. You learn later that one, it's
Mhm.
genetic, and then two, you just kind of see how shit somebody's going through this. She doesn't want to be a cannibal. You're seeing it. She does not want this, but after a while, she's just like, fuck it, I got to give in because I can't help it. I don't know what else to do.
Well, you know her enough and start caring enough for, even though something's going to happen with her. This is
Yeah.
definitely is, but you start really kind of caring for the character, and you see they're running into issues and everything. So it gives you enough that you truly have empathy for her, and that's what makes this film so different than other cannibalism films. Is it's not okay. So most cannibalism in film is about fear, like
Mhm.
the unknown, those scary people, they eat people, they're that bad. This is the total opposite. This is about this just happens to be something that, as you know young adults, they have to learn to live with, and it is them. And you genuinely care about them, and yeah, it's a special movie.
No, I like that. I like you enjoyed it I do really like that you
Mhm.
enjoyed it that much and got that much from it. That's all. I think that's freaking awesome. I think that's freaking awesome. I mean, we all
Mhm.
got something. We all got something from it, and we all did enjoy it in our own ways, which is always a great thing. And with that said, people, we are gonna kind of wind down. Get this one in the books as the I don't know who says it, but I'm sure somebody does
Mhm.
or did. I don't know where I was going with that. Trying to think of a saying or whatever. But
Well, I at
this
least lost my train of thought once, so I
yeah,
apologize.
listen, it happens to the best of us. But what the message from this movie is: don't eat people. Well, let me rephrase that. Don't eat people the way they were eaten in this movie. You guys know what I mean. Other than that, you should check out our links. You should go check out Ambassador Media. This
Mhm.
guy is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm telling you, Ambassador Media, just go check it out. He's a wealth of knowledge. He loves what he talks about. He loves the research, and he loves to share it with the world. The world needs to
Thank
listen.
you.
And then we got popcorn and pints every Saturday at 9 o'clock Eastern time, except for this one because we're
We're
two
on a
people are going to be
hiatus.
punished. That's all we're gonna say. We're on break this weekend, but you guys know we punish each other now. So anytime we have to miss an episode, you get punished for it. With a movie you're probably not gonna want to watch. Then you gotta tell us about it in the following episode. So that's what's gonna be going on Popcorn and Pints from here on out, just to make it a little bit more fun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's for any reason besides like childbirth or pretty much coming into the world and leaving the world. Anything else, of course, if it's less some really serious hospital stay, anything else, wedding, vacation, all that, we don't care. That's too bad. You got to, you still got to come back, suffer the consequences.
You get married, too bad. You're supposed to be here.
That may be a little different too, but everybody's married already, so yeah. So it's like if you're getting divorced, jokes.
You're quadriplegic? Come on, grow some balls.
Yeah, man, you made it last week. What's the difference this week? But no, it's just again, it's fun. It's fun to have your friends watch some shitty movies, get on their nerves, and then we're gonna come on the show and rant about it too. Just telling you.
Yep.
But yeah, so we will be back next Thursday. Again, we'll be on the Scene Slobs on Tuesday, 80s Wrestlers mixtape, Halloween Party mixtape. It's gonna be a fun time. So you guys do not want to miss out on that. That's going to be a grand old time. 80s, 90s actually. He bumped it to 80s and 90s. Then next Thursday. Thank you.
That's good advice.
Yes. Eat out. Taco Tuesday. Well, it could be taco every day. Let's not just be Tuesdays now. Let's not limit things. But yeah, we're this was a good time.
Yeah.
This was a good time.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Really good time. And of course,
thank you for this movie being on. I was thrilled.
Me too. You know what's funny is I threw this movie on here like a week or two ago. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't put enough movies on here for Sturd-O-Ween. I need to go grab some more. And I just typed in this. I just typed in foreign or whatever I typed in. And I found this. I was like, okay, that's cool. But next week,
good pick.
Again, we are going down under, like James said, and we are going to try to find a killer kangaroo hopping around in Australia.
Going down under.
Yep, Rippy.
The man down under. Like, was it Men in Hats to sing that song?
Rippy. See, going back to that. I had
the land down under.
Yes. And I'm excited for this. I'm telling you right now, people, I'm not putting on the excitement I did for
Leprechaun in Space. Yes.
I'm not doing that shit for this movie because I don't want to be disappointed again. Like, I know I'm gonna be disappointed again in movies in life, but that was different. Go back to the episode and you'll see.
Oh, speaking real quick, disappointment. They ruined their chance in this. No, not this movie. Never mind. I changed my mind.
He changed his mind.
Wrong movie.
He changed his mind.
I was going to tell you something. It was a wrong movie. I was going to tell you something about a different movie.
But I do have the fuck you button set up, guys. Right there. That way it's not blocking anybody. I'll move it over to
Starter 2.
A little bit smaller, but so you guys can see it. But that's the fuck you button. So I have a fuck you button on HorrorWithSirSturdy. So I'm not gonna say I won't say fuck you, but if I have to say it, refer to the button. Refer to Firestarter. With that said, I hope you guys have an amazing night. Don't smoke crack after midnight. Don't smoke crack at all. Watch this movie if that trigger won't bother you. Let us know in the comments how you feel about this movie. Got something to say, Trevor?
I just want to say one last thing.
Hell yeah.
Soylent Green is people.
See?
Yep.
He's right. And I want to say something too. Raw. Like I said Tuesday, you can't go raw if you're wrapped. If you're unwrapped, you're going raw. That's all I'm saying. She unwrapped the chicken. She wanted the